So the sugar diet has been all of the rage. Everyone's talking about it. It seems like they are obsessed with being able to eat more calories and those calories to be junk, such as Sour Patch Kids and everything, as you can see. And that I don't know why that candy is chosen as the poster child for it, but they are straight sugar and drinking soda and stuff like that. So I want to review this video is what made me like want to start talking about this. Whereas, before I was really just kind of looking to avoid this whole conversation with the sugar diet because I think it's pretty obvious that it's not going to be something that's going to help you. But I think it's starting to become compelling enough where people could be tricked into thinking that this is something that's going to help them. So if you were interested in learning the other side, like a doubter's side of it, then this is going to be a good video for you. And I really think that if you follow the sugar diet, not only is it going to cost you your results, it literally could endanger your life. And I don't think I'm being dramatic in saying that. And so we're going to go over this video. I'm going to go over numerous pieces of evidence that show that I think this is a bad idea, and to empower you to make your own decision whether this is a diet that you want to try and whether you think it's going to help you.
This is my breakfast. I had some Sour Patch Kids, Starburst, jelly beans, 8 ounces of apple juice.
Sugar on the bottom, sugar on the top.
That was Mark Bell. He's probably the biggest proponent, the most famous proponent of it right now. And I need to go over one of his videos as well. But I'll kind of summarize it to you. He's getting great results. He's losing a lot of weight. And so it can be very compelling. And I'm going to explain that right after this introduction here.
Yes, people are literally slamming hundreds of grams of sugar per day while restricting protein. And they're actually reporting weight loss and improved energy and workout performance.
Okay, so those two pictures back there, I guess it.
Weight loss and improved energy and workout performance.
Mark Bell, he looks amazing. He looks absolutely shredded. He's lost a lot of weight. And there was this, I wonder if I have it in my watch later still. There's this video right here, exposing Mark Bell's dangerous high sugar, low fat diet. Alan Roberts, that Alan Roberts guy seems like a very big fan of Mark Bell's actually. But I think he brought up a perfect point, which is that it appears like he's just losing muscle. He's already really lean. We're going to get into that, and I think all the evidence backs that up. Now, I want to say I've watched this Nick Norwitz before on keto and stuff like that. I think he's completely off the mark on several things. I think he's a zealot for the keto diet, and something doesn't sit right with me with how he does things. But he's a lot smarter than me. So, he makes things sound really, really good. He focuses on mechanistic data, how something might work, and how the body is processing this hormone that causes you to increase mitochondria activation in your fat cells. And it all sounds good. But I want to encourage you to, anytime you feel confused by research, like what is going on? Why is all this research kind of conflicting? Zoom out and look at the human randomized control trials. What does the actual outcomes tell us is going to happen in this case? And I'm going to go over all that with you here. What that means, though, is mechanistically, sure, this thing could increase, something over here that could help you lose fat. And a lot of these people will go, therefore, blah, 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 and they'll fill in the blank. But we need to look at, okay, when a person eats higher protein, when a person eats lower protein, when a person eats a lot of sugar, what happens? It doesn't really matter how it's working. What is the end result? I like how Lane Norton puts it a lot, that if you are investing in a mutual fund, there's 1,000 stocks in there, and mechanistically is kind of like focusing on 2 or 3 of those stocks. If 2 or 3 of those stocks are doing really, really well, great. That must mean I'm making money, right? But if 997 of them are doing poorly, you're not going to be making money. And the end result is that you're going to be losing a lot of money. And so the end result's all we really care about. We don't care about those 2 or 3 stocks. We care about overall, is this mutual fund making me money or not? And so, sure, mechanistically, the sugar diet could make sense on 1 level or 2 levels, but the other 900 levels, it is complete idiocy. It's stupid. And it's really going to hurt you. And I think long-term, it's actually going to kill people. It is going to cost people lives. And so that's why I'm making this video. I didn't want to talk about this. I think it's really kind of stupid, but that was the introduction to it. I'm going to go to a different part of his video and we're going to play it now.
Now, this new study I mentioned that captured my attention was recently published in the journal Nature Metabolism. It investigated the effects of a low-protein, high-carb diet on energy expenditure. The subjects were healthy young men in their mid-20s with a mean BMI around 25.
That's something I want to point out, is that they were healthy young individuals who this paper numerous times describes as lean.
Remarkably, about a week into the low-protein, high-carb diet, the participants needed to increase their energy intake to maintain body weight.
That is another thing that is going to keep on coming up again and again and again. They phrase it to maintain their body weight. That's strange phrasing that I haven't really heard before. In order to maintain their body weight. The increased energy intake was not attributed to alterations of physical activity level, as this remained unchanged during the intervention, meaning they didn't just move more and that's why they were burning more calories. The continuous increase in energy intake was not enough to prevent small but significant weight loss over time, whereas fat and lean body mass did not change significantly. So they're saying that they lost weight, but fat and lean mass did not change significantly. So if you go to table 1, that's where they reference this right here, I would beg to differ. So this is week 0. Their lean body mass was 61.8 kilograms. In week 5 of low protein, high carb, their lean body mass was 61.3 kilograms. They lost half of a kilogram in 5 weeks. That's 1.1 pounds. Could you imagine losing 1.1 pounds every single week, or every single 5 weeks? 10.5 pounds of muscle in a year. That is significant. You do that 3 years in a row, you're going to be jacked if you're gaining that much muscle. So if you're losing that much muscle, you're going to shrivel up. So I think it is quite significant. And if you look at this data, although their body weight stayed the same, in every single low protein group, they lost muscle. Every single one, compared to week 0 to week 5, they lost muscle. And then here, look at this, low protein, high fat. They lost, here, surprisingly less muscle than you would think, but they still lost a decent amount of muscle. And then high protein diet, they switched back to the high protein diet, and look at that. They gained 0.6 pounds. They ended up with more muscle than they did back here than when they started. So the decrease in protein led to decrease in muscle mass, which is going to lead to decreased energy expenditure over the long term. They had to increase their calories in order to maintain their body weight. I think that is such key phrasing that is kind of deceptive. The reason that they had to increase their calories to maintain their body weight was because they were losing muscle. So they needed to gain a little bit of fat in order to keep their body weight up. So they're literally going the wrong direction. That's why they needed increased calories. Now, there was this increased energy expenditure side of things, and I'm wondering if that is more related to the fact that, runners, they eat sugar for a reason. They need the sugar right then. If you're getting a lot of sugar, if you're getting a lot of carbs, you're probably going to be, even though their movement wasn't higher, they couldn't track all of their movement in this study. And I'm going to show you other studies that refute this, like bar none, easily. But they could have been doing non-exercise activity thermogenesis that could have gone higher, and even though I'm stating it as like, hey, I think I know why, that's not necessarily a bad thing. If you're non-activity, if you're NEAT, non-exercise activity thermogenesis, if that is higher, say you're growing your hair faster or you're twitching more, whatever, it doesn't matter, then that's a good thing. We'd want that. But I don't think that would last long term. And even if it did, even if you increase your calorie expenditure by 5%, the eventual decline of all that muscle would decrease your calorie expenditure by 15%. The net result would be that you would gain a lot of body fat and lose a lot of muscle mass, and you'd be in this horrible metabolic situation. So go back to Mark Bell. He's a lean individual. You saw how lean he was. If we look at his situation, if he's losing muscle mass, because he doesn't have a whole lot of fat to lose. So if he's dropping significant body weight, which sounds like he is losing muscle. And so, of course, he is going to be dropping weight. The goal is not to drop weight. The goal is to drop body fat and increase muscle mass. And then past a certain point, a person might not want to do that. But in this little clip right here, he says that the fat, the high fat and low protein also led to the same results, which again just fits perfectly with you're losing muscle mass, and with the increased energy that you're consuming in order to stay the same body weight. And that's, again, that key phrasing. you're going to have more energy coming in and you're going to expend more energy. Your body uses more energy. You tend to have more energy to spend when you have more coming in. This is just, it's so obvious, it's hard for me to explain. I just wanted to show you this. This is, again, so obvious. It's like, it might almost come across as boring. If you just Google, does increased sugar lead to higher energy expenditure? I know this is an AI overview, but I think all these AI overviews are doing is just summarizing what's on the Google page. So increased sugar consumption does not necessarily lead to higher energy expenditure. While sugar provides energy, the body's metabolism can be disrupted by excessive sugar intake, potentially leading to reduced energy expenditure and weight gain. I'm going to go over some actual studies here in a little bit, or an AI summary of a bunch of studies, which I think is way better than me looking into one at a time. But does protein help with weight loss? Yes, protein can play a significant role in weight loss. A high-protein diet can help you lose weight by boosting metabolism, reducing appetite, and influencing weight-regulating hormones. Additionally, protein helps maintain muscle mass during weight loss. And this is just so obvious. Everyone knows this. I don't know why we're trying to invent something here. So I had ChatGPT do a deep learning thing or deep research thing on just protein and its effects on fat-free mass and fat mass. And I'm just going to go over a few sections. High protein diets have been extensively studied in adults for their impact on weight management and body composition. Numerous randomized control trials show that when adults undergo intentional weight loss through calorie restriction, a higher protein diet tends to improve body composition outcomes compared to lower protein intake. And weight loss diets for overweight or obese individuals increase protein, typically around 30% of calories, yield slightly greater total weight loss and significantly more fat loss. That is what is key, is it's not just about weight loss. High protein leads to much higher fat loss while better preserving fat-free mass. That is so important. And it says numerous randomized control trials. I'm not pulling from one study. This guy pulls, where's his face? There he is. This guy pulls from one study, and he's not really defending the sugar diet. At the end, he actually says that he doesn't think it's good. But he also has these weird outlooks where he just focuses so much on mechanistic data, and it doesn't seem to be helpful. Where he'll pull out rodent trials as well. All these people that have these crazy mechanistic outlooks on these crazy outtakes, they always pull rodent data because they have nothing else. They can't shock you with anything else. This is all, this video right here is not going to get a ton of views because I'm just telling you, hey, protein helps you lose weight, just like you always knew. And so because it's not a new insight and it's not blowing your mind, this isn't going to get spread around a ton. But saying that sugar leads to weight loss gets a lot of views, but they have to go to the rodents. Rodent studies give us a hypothesis. Then we study it in randomized control trials with humans, and we look at what the outcome actually is. Rodents metabolize things way differently than us. It gives us a place to start and an idea, and then we test that idea in humans. That's how it works. So you can't use rodent data. So anyways, multiple individual randomized controlled trials corroborated these findings. That wasn't the part I wanted to read, but again, that's just more. High protein weight loss diets have been tested in individuals with various health conditions. In adults with type 2 diabetes, higher protein diets produce slightly greater weight loss and improved in glycemic control. That's the part I wanted to read. A meta-analysis of 9 randomized control trials in diabetics reported that 30% protein diets result in about 2.1 kilograms more weight loss. Again, we can keep on going. Look at all these studies. If you want to pause the screen and look at what this is leading to, these are high protein consumption. I'm not a protein advocate. I'm not like a zealot for high protein. I wish eating Mike and Ike's, my absolute favorite candy, led to weight loss. I would be eating the crap out of it. Whereas this guy is a zealot for keto. And he masks it, in my opinion, through trying to remain open-minded. But I don't think he's as open-minded as he likes to say he is. So, I mean, as you can tell, I'm a little bit passionate about this because I think this is going to hurt people. And I don't like when people put out this garbage that could hurt people. And I really do. I think it's going to actually take lives long-term if someone sticks with this. So protein intake is equally critical in scenarios of weight or muscle gain, such as resistance training programs or overfeeding. Randomized control trial evidence indicates that sufficiently high protein intake augments gains in lean body mass when combined with exercise, whereas low protein can result in more fat gain or even muscle loss during weight gain. And that's what I wanted to point out. That is such an important point. If you're losing muscle and gaining weight, that obviously points, that is not just like a little, it's on the line. That obviously points to low protein is not a good idea, no matter if it's with fat or with carbs. Which, by the way, if you're going high carb, low protein, and low fat, especially if you're a male, your testosterone your endocrine system is going to be all out of whack. It's not helpful to be doing that. In older adults with sarcopenia or frailty, combining resistance exercise with increased protein can modestly improve lean mass and strength. And it goes on to say here that older individuals need more protein. We wouldn't have come to that conclusion if the sugar diet was anything, helpful. And it's not really the sugar diet. I'm picking on this low protein thought because it kind of defends, from his view, if you keep watching his video, this high fat, low protein, keto style, or lower protein, keto style diet. And it's a lot for him. It's a lot of saturated fat and garbage. So anyways, more data here, more tons of trials, and you can look at all that there and the results that they came out to. I mean, it's insane. Nothing points the other direction. Nothing. Besides this one video, this one, study that had to point towards remaining the same weight. They had to phrase it like that because what they lost was muscle. High protein diets, as used in these randomized control trials, have generally been found safe and beneficial for body composition when applied in the short to medium term in healthy adults. And that says weeks to months. Contrary to some concerns, no adverse effects on kidney function, liver function, or bone density have been observed in healthy individuals. In summary, the randomized control trial evidence since 2000 strongly supports that high protein intake above conventional RDA of recommended daily allowance of 0.8 grams per kilogram, so leads to favorable changes in body composition in adults. During caloric restriction, high protein promotes greater fat loss and preserves lean body mass compared to lower protein intakes. During muscle building or weight gain phases, higher protein enhances lean mass gains and minimizes fat storage, especially when paired with resistance training. These effects hold across genders. The source of protein is less important, and high protein diets are a viable strategy for obesity treatment and prevention of muscle loss without evidence of harm in healthy individuals. Now, I did want to show the prompt that I gave it. I thought it was neutral. Can we summarize only human randomized control trials on the effects of protein on weight gain, lean body mass, fat mass, and if it's healthy to consume higher or lower amounts of protein to obtain and keep a healthy body composition? I didn't, try to push the AI in one direction or the other. I know that, I hope this helps someone. If it helped one person, if you reach the end of this video and you're like, you know what, thank you for saving me from that diet, I was thinking about it, I would love to know that because I am pretty, determined to save someone from this garbage advice. This is going to fade out like any other fad diet, and that's not my concern. It's my concern when I removed them, when people who are quite intelligent spout this nonsense because they're focusing on a mechanism that happens. Yes, you take in a bunch of carbs, you increase your energy expenditure. I think that's temporary. Long term, look any greater than 5 weeks, you are going to start losing muscle mass. And in that table, do I still have that table up? They started gaining lean mass as soon as they got back on the high protein diet. So they would go from their normal to a low protein back to a high protein. And if you look at their lean body mass, 64.1 down to 63.7 up to 64. So they gained that back. I don't see when they start the high protein diet here, but I bet it would be even worse with that. I feel like this study, this nature metabolism, is right up the alley with that guy. I don't even know his name, Nick, whatever. Where they just focus on things that seem to fit their agenda. And I hate to say that. I'm not trying to attack anyone, but I don't feel like I have an agenda. I just want to help people lose weight. If eating gummy bears helped you lose weight, I would be telling you to eat gummy bears. I don't care what you eat. I just care that you get the information that helps you make that decision for yourself that leads to better outcomes for you and leads to healthier outcomes for you. So anyways, that is my spout. Hopefully after I edit this video, it won't be almost 30 minutes. but I hope it saved someone. So if you've reached the end of this video, please let me know. If you don't already, what I should point out, if you don't have this already, is my Fit Buddy. Oh, I should have used Fit Buddy in this. Does eating high protein help with weight loss, or should I, this is something I made, reduce my protein to help me lose body fat? I don't know. I'm not even sure what this is going to say. Great question. I'm glad you asked, because protein is your fat loss power up, not something to cut out. Here's the deal. Eating high protein actually helps you lose fat. Here's how. Preserves muscle while dieting. This thing that I built just looks into, I didn't train it. I didn't tell it to say this. It knows to do the research beforehand on all this stuff, and so it spits out answers a little bit faster. That's all it is. It's Fit Buddy. Let me know if you want it. I'll send it to you. Boosts satiety, increase thermic effect of food, supports recovery from training. This is my thing that I built in ChatGPT. It's totally free. If you want it, it can help you answer all sorts of questions, help you put together a full plan, help you with knowing how many calories and how much protein you should be eating. And it can help you stay away from clowns like that one that we just reviewed. So, see ya.